The content today comes from this lovely young woman who titled her video, "I don't want to date black men anymore." As a black man myself, I am so interested. Why don't she don't want me no more? So let's get active.
A little bit about me before we get into this video.
Okay.
I'm clearly a melanated woman.
Yes,
or
you are.
Black woman, and I'm extremely independent.
Okay.
I've been living alone since I was 22 years old.
Sure.
I'm college educated. I have a career in corporate America. I have a very healthy income. I'm able to provide everything that I want for myself.
Okay.
I have no debt, and I live
Sure.
in a very high cost of living area. And I do this all by myself with ease. I take care of myself.
Sure.
These, by virtue, would peg me as the stereotypical black woman.
No, I disagree with that. You know, if you want to call out strong and independent, yeah, you could say that. You also said no debt. Generally, when we call out modern women, it is full of debt due to prioritizing education and getting all them damn loans. Nevertheless, you can call out all of the things that you just did and still be in a relationship with a dude who loves you. But really, when they talk about stereotypical black woman and they mean it in a negative or pejorative way, they're talking about behavior. Keep in mind, behavior. How is it that you act?
Except for the fact that I'm not obese, because that is what these crazy black men try to say is black women are undesirable. They're obese. They don't take care of themselves. They have nasty attitudes, which I have a badass attitude as well.
There it goes. That's why you get that title. Wearing bad attitude like a badge of honor is one of the marquee of a standard issue modern black woman. Ladies, understand that men don't look at your attitudes as if it demonstrates strength. We look at your attitude and demote you from relationship or perhaps marriageable material.
So, like I said, I definitely fall into the stereotype of a undesirable black woman. However, none of that stops me from dating and choosing very consciously to not and never again date black men. And I have a little list here, which only took me about 3 seconds to put together, of why I don't date black men.
Okay.
Now, the first reason is because they're extremely insecure.
Here we go.
If you've seen my last video, then you know how I talked about black people, melanated people victimizing themselves to white people is not a flex. It's not something that is
actually
respectable.
hate that.
It's not something that's dignified. It's not really something that's going to help you propel and move forward in your life.
Sure.
I've never dated a black man that didn't talk about his
experience as a black man.
Oh.
Talk about how
The man is always trying to keep him down.
and it's so sickening. It's disgusting.
I agree with her.
And it's my experience dating every single black man that I've dated. They've always talked about how their experience as a black man in America is one that is filled with hatred and racism, I guess.
Those are weak men.
Although secretly, I believe every single black man would find themselves at a higher status if they actually had dated or possessed, was in a relationship with a woman of non-color. But that's really neither here nor there.
What?
I really hope that black men find their preferences away from black women so that they can continue to level up and do them and go about their merry way and be great.
I didn't think I was going to agree with her at all during this video, just based off of the title, because I'm not with this whole divest community shit. I believe in survival of the fittest. You find within whatever race, man or woman, whatever works best for you. Nevertheless, black men that continue to look at the world and prioritize their race first for whatever conversation in a method to victimize themselves are some of the weakest black men amongst all black men. The majority of them, not all, have been trained to be a victim. They've been trained to be weak and pathetic and really don't represent masculinity when they do that. They'll often blame everything that's wrong in their life on the white man keeping them down. When I say that there's nothing keeping you down but yourself. You can't be mad at those and look at others with a envy or jealousy and victimize yourself because you weren't born into their same race or ethnicity, color of skin, and instead take life by the horns and develop your own. Now, I say all that to say, how she keeps on coming into contact with dudes like that is beyond me. I don't know any black dudes like that. None of my friends are like that. So this first issue is based off of your selection, ma'am. Let's go.
Topic in the being insecure. I noticed that Black men are really crabs in a bucket. Black men just can't stand to see someone doing better than them. They're very jealous and insecure as well. I don't know what this stems from. Regardless though, instead of uplifting people, they want to bring them down and knock them down a peg to where they feel that they can be on top of whoever it is that they're dealing with. And I've noticed this amongst Black men that I don't even date. Black men who are supposed to be my mentors. Black men who are supposed to be leaders. As soon as it comes down to them being challenged in any way, when it comes down to them being questioned in any way, they need to throw their authority and force it onto me, in my experience, or whoever it is that is a Black woman. They just want to keep a Black woman down and keep a Black woman in her place. Now, the next reason why I don't date Black men is because they're just too feminine.
Damn, she's going off on this one. Let me just comment on that one real quick. What you're describing, ma'am, is not a race-specific thing. It is a people thing.
I'm going to be honest with you.
They're feminine.
Extremely feminine. Lazy. Black men are just lazy as a hell. They're hella unhealthy. They die very young because they don't take care of their health. I get up and I go to the gym at 5 o'clock, 5:30 most mornings. On weekends, I'm at the gym when it opens, 8 o'clock. I don't ever see Black men in the gym. Now, granted, I live in San Diego, so there may not be that many Black men in general.
You live in the most Caucasian, high cost of living cities outside of Boston, and you're complaining that you don't see Black men that are not in this city at the gym. This is so crazy to me. How you have on one side of the coin Black men achieving incredible feats in sports and athletics, and then you also have this woman complaining about them not working out. This is so crazy to me.
But there are still some percentage. I shouldn't be the only Black person in the gym or the only one of 2 Black people in the gym. I see so many Black men walking around looking like they have one foot in the grave and one hand in the chicken bucket. And it's really unattractive. I don't need to be canoodling. I don't need to be cooperating. I don't need to be associated with any man that can't take care of his health. And again, from all the Black men that I dated, whether they were skinny, whether they were bigger, they just did not take care of themselves. And it's unattractive. I can't date them.
So I went to the CDC for this one. Topic was obesity, just so I can see the breakdown by race. And from 2017 to 2020, non-Hispanic Black adults had the highest obesity prevalence at 50%, followed by, which is high as shit, by the way, which is absolutely disgusting. But this is both men and women. Both men and both women that are Black are fat as shit. But let's see how different that it is than its non-Black counterparts. Hispanic was 5% less at 45%, and then non-Hispanic white was 9% lower at 41%. It's just 8 to 9%, ma'am. You're acting like this is a large difference, but yeah, sure, whatever. Go off.
Too feminine in addition to being lazy. A Black man's masculinity is not inherent. They're not masculine because they embody the qualities of masculinity, like being strong, like being organized, planners, like being disciplined. No. Black men are masculine relative to women. For example, Black men's favorite line to say about Black women is that
they're too independent.
Too independent relative to who, babe? To you, babe? So the Black men that say that Black women are too independent, they don't live alone. They don't own anything. They're in hella debt. They're living paycheck to paycheck. Yet they turn around and they look at a Black woman who has all of these things going for herself, and they want to take her down, again, a peg to their level because they're insecure.
Well, ma'am, I am the exact opposite of all of the criteria that you just labeled. And I can tell you that Black women in general, not all, are too independent. What is it that I mean by that? Most hear the word submission or following a man's lead, and they act like someone just shot them with a damn bullet, clapping back at such an assertion because, well, I built this all myself. I managed to get a credit card at this age. I managed to get my own home at this age. What can he lead me in? Because look at me. Look at all that I've achieved. I can do it all myself. Meanwhile, feminism has you gripped by the balls that you now project. Continue to tout independence as if it's a strength and be modern as hell without understanding that marriage is a traditional contract for traditional relationships. Now, does it make me feminine that I call out what I see from most black women in the dating marketplace that I have dated myself? You be the judge.
But really going back to this masculinity versus femininity thing, which I think is kind of hogwash anyways, black men are very well known for expecting women to submit to them and listen to them, and you can't argue with them. You are to be seen and not heard, and it's just really not the way that the world works. They expect that when you say something that you need to believe it because they said it and because they're a man. Negating or brushing under the rug all of the other factors that they don't have going for them that makes it so that it's very hard to trust even what they're saying or to listen to their advice, because why would you take advice from someone who you don't want to switch places with? I wouldn't do that. And that's why I'm the typical undesirable black woman.
It sounds like you date and get dug out by men that you do not respect. Sounds like you respect their stroke game, but why spend time and get stroked out by men that you would not fathom as a leader?
In the eyes of a black man, of course. Moving on to the third reason why I do not date black men anymore. I'm never going to date black men anymore. Because I mean, after 10 or so, I'm pretty much going to take the L. When I'm seeing these same qualities in all of them, and I'm seeing these same qualities in my elders, and I'm seeing these same qualities in people who are supposed to be
really
mentoring me, people who are my peers, it's a loss. Like, I'm not interested, right?
Okay.
So, unmotivated.
Third one.
They're just extremely, extremely, extremely unmotivated. And it kind of goes back to that crab in a bucket thing. If you try to motivate them, they're not accountable. They don't hold themselves accountable to their health, to their wealth, to their well-being, but they also don't let you hold them accountable. Like, say you set a goal or have something that you want to accomplish with a black man, you will be the one who's pulling all of the weight in that. And when you end up getting results and he doesn't, again, he just wants to bring you down a notch. The demotivation of being with a black man, interacting with a black man, being romantically involved with a black man is very contagious, actually. And I'm not going to say the point of this video is to get black women to not date black men, but I'm just telling you that that's why I don't do it. Because in my experience, when I take a step back and I observe what's been going on, I'm just so, and have been so happy and fulfilled just not dealing with them. To the next point of being unmotivated, they expect recognition for doing the bare fucking minimum.
I got a college degree. I have my own place. I have blah, 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 blah.
Okay, and? Like, overall, I feel that black men, when it comes to the whole like range of men and the whole spectrum of men being from on an axis, and you have the lowest level of men and then you have the highest level of men, I feel like black men are at the very, 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 very lowest. And I don't mean this to be racist. I mean, how could I be racist? I'm melanated, right? Black people can't be racist against black people. But I'm saying it to be speaking my truth of my observations. And this is not a divestment video. This is not a...
ladies, you need to go and you need to date outside your race because these other men are so much better.
No. This is just to say, though, that the whole idea and the propaganda for black women to involve themselves, to dedicate their life to black love and to always hold a black man down and to always worship a black man and to always see a black man as your provider, as your protector, as your leader, when he doesn't fulfill any of those roles, when he doesn't tick any of those boxes, is strictly that.
Wow.
It's propaganda.
It's all words, no action. It's lip service. It's just not true. And I'm speaking just from my experience in dating them and saying that's why I will never date them again. Yes, the whole entire race, that whole entire category of men, they can no longer access me. Now, I am going to conclude this video with what the next steps are for me and what the next steps have been for me. I've only dated pretty much foreign men since 2021. The last black guy that I dated was in 2021, and he was the weirdest. He was actually adopted by white people, funny enough. So he sounded like this, and he was telling me just super like, ugh. He was saying that when he was in high school, his parents sent him to boarding school, and I said, why did they send you to boarding school? Because I was a little shit. And he literally sounded like that. I'm not one to talk about someone sounding nerdy and goofy, because I sound very nerdy and goofy myself, but that voice was just too goofy. Anyways, like I said, ever since 2021, and we're now in 2024, I have not dated black men, and I've only dated foreign men because maybe I'm a passport girl. No, I'm just kidding. I like dating different cultures though, because I just don't experience the insecurity. And I also really love nerds. Like, I only date engineers.
I want to let the track breathe real quick just so I can see her final thoughts after the motivation comments. And again, I think lack of motivation is something that could be man-wide, but let's just give it to her for argument's sake. Let's say that all of the men that she dated is a mix of one of the three things that she named. Closing off an entire race of people due to your terrible selections is absolutely dastardly work. You date losers, ma'am, more than likely because you are a loser yourself, and you're unable to look within the mirror as to say, well, why is this my only selection? You, ma'am, are doing black men an absolute favor by deselecting us before we even get an opportunity to know you. A black man like myself would have a conversation with you and be able to diagnose mental instability or whatever trauma that you've suffered within your past dating relationships with black men, or perhaps it's a trauma with your father, and never take you seriously. You would get demoted to butt. Why? Well, all of the reasons that I mentioned before. And then also, so what will happen is that well-qualified black men will just get the cheeks from you, and then the trauma cycle will continue. And it sucks to say that if you fix certain things about yourself, you'd have options, more options for those that are replicable. But go off, queen. Have fun with the foreign men, because like I always say, it's survival of the fittest, baby. I am not bitter of your decision. Do whatever you want with your life. We all got one life to live. But I do hope that you get some help. We are not a monolith. And contrary to a lot of these women's belief, we do exist out there. Questions, comments, concerns? Y'all already know what to do. Me, go to tutorialsandreviews@gmail.com. Guys, if you are the unmotivated type that she mentioned in her video before, I have the perfect community for you. If you want to join my men's self-development community, there's a link to it down in the description box down below, especially if you are interested in the financial education going into the future. We're going to have a major focus on wealth building. Last but not least, if you're watching this video, don't go message this woman. Don't go. Who gives a shit, right? This should not make you angry. The best form of revenge is to be the exact opposite, to derive value from the things that you do within your life based off of your purpose, and demonstrate it by making the next generation better than what you were. Good-natured and valuable people need not spend time on hateful and bitter people because it will bring them down. Focus on being valuable. Until next time, YouTube. Peace.
You don't wanna see me get vexed. Bars on your phone, tell a man you can't jet. The big the ones who can't stretch. Breaking the neck when we in the car next. You don't wanna see me get vexed. Bars on your phone, tell a man you can't jet. The big the ones who can't stretch. Breaking the neck when we in the car next. That bars need defibrillation ASAP. Get boxed with a straight gap. I'm reminded of mind state they lack.